Welcome along to Saturday, and that means only one thing that happens on a Saturday. It is opening round for one of the very few GPs left of this F1 Clash 2023 season. Yes, it's on the way. Not too long to wait now. We are at, of course, the Chinese Grand Prix, the Chinese GP, not on our track list this year. Expect it to come back in next year as F1 Clash follows the F1 calendar. Hamilton, Onyx, Magnussen, all 5% boosted, which means it's going to be a difficult week for our account. So as you can see, we've got level 5 Hamilton and we're running level 5 Max Verstappen for that qualifying. And it's going to be pretty difficult. This is the car that we're running as well. We are taking Onyx for the SCR, the speed, cornering, reliability, total stats that helps our qualifying position. And we are heading in to race 1 of a difficult GP here in Series 12. We're going to hopefully just manage to get through. That's got to be the absolute key as we look at our sort of lobby, see what famous faces are around, but we're going to give it a go. Here we go. Race 1 coming from Mexico. So here we go. It's a tough matchup for race number 1. It always is. Always seems to be the issue. And now we're going to try and overcome it. The question is, can we overcome it as we head to Mexico? Difficult matchup means a challenge. Can we get the better of? It's all about strategy. That's what we got to paint ourselves on. 14th and 15th for our drivers, and it is a wet start to this session. So I'm going to go into the cuppers. I'm going to have a couple of cuppers, being an Englishman, and then we're going to get this show on the road. Best boost on the game, or one of them, cupper. Got to use it to our advantage as we wait for this rival to ready up. Can we make the difference? Let's find out. Here we go. Wow, my face has just got so much bigger. There we go. It's a bit better. As we're away then, P14, P15, and it's all about the Mexico first corner, as many of you already know. And as we hit that absolute car park, it is P11 and P13. Now, expecting a lot of the AI to do potentially up to 6 laps. So there is a strong chance of a beautiful undercut, as the rival is currently not pushing on that Merlion. And we move ourselves into P9. Could get a little bit better if we can get through the stadium section and we get Hamilton through. Rivals coming with us, though, as we now cut down on the power unit. So down the straight we go for the first time. We've got the rival who's going to have a lot faster car than us, so expect them to come flying by. We've got Verstappen, who can easily probably do an undercut here. And we've got Hamilton, could probably nicely go to 5 laps. So we're behind the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz, a little bit lighter after his appendix has been taken out. And we're going to try and attack then through this stadium section. And that we will do. We're up to P7 with Hamilton. It is Verstappen moving round into P10. So both cars now into the top 10. We know we need more points than that, though. We know we need in the 40s. And that is what we're going to have to try and overcome. The rivals not using power unit again. Maybe they're going for an undercut with full power unit, which is interesting. But our cupper boost is putting us in the mix. And as we go through, Checo is going to get overtaken in front of his fans in the stadium section, and we're into P6. So P6 can serve down the straight every time. That is what we got to do, and we'll push back out of it. So using a lot of power unit, but we're not against our rival here. Not against our rival. We are against, as we take P5, our own scoring propositions. As on lap 4, we probably will go round one more time. We've got a decent enough gap between the two. Rival's still holding his power unit. I mean, I'm sure they could score 47, this rival. I'm not quite sure what they are doing, because they've got a lot more that they could do. Got to pit lap 5, though. Lap 6 is not an option against this field. And we're going to try and use up to P4. Norris ahead. Try and create that gap. Make sure we're fine. As we get into P4, we'll conserve quickly as we go into the stadium section. Norris is going to come back at us just about. But look at Verstappen's power unit. 100%. That is what we like to see. What is the rival going to do? Rival's going to go to 6 laps then. Really strange strategy from this rival, I must say, as we come out in P12 for Hamilton. Really strange. But we're racing. We're going to just try and attack and try and bring ourselves closer to the back of this field. Verstappen, I'm going to just give a full beans attack mode, giving him the full RB19 power that we wish we had. And that rival is coming around the final corners now and into the pits. Difficult track. But Hamilton is going to do the undercut. That is what we like to see, and he's ahead of Norris. Verstappen has got both rivals ahead, but only just, as we're on lap 7. Everybody is now pitted. Rivals got full power unit to go full beans. And surely they're still not going full beans. Don't understand what the rival's doing. As we're now approaching Charles Leclerc. And we are past Charles Leclerc into P3. Rival has now found the power button. They are now pushing, and it's going to be a final lap push. This is a difficult race. I don't understand what this rival's doing. But I'm going to happily take the points. They still are pushing, not pushing. Where's Verstappen? It's only P10. Difficult race. He's up to P9 though. And Hamilton's going to come home in a solid P3. That is a great performance from Hamilton. Verstappen, we couldn't quite get through, but we're going to beat the rival. And at a shock, a very strange strategy. You've got to admit at home as well. $1,499 versus $1,558, and we come home and take the pointage. Exactly what we needed. Look at the debrief then. Level 6 for the rival. And the car is where you're letting yourself down. Here we go then. Race 2. Decent matchup in our favour. And I think it might also be a bot. So the question is going to be, what are we going to do this time round? Are we going to go a 2-stop, or will we put both cars onto the 1-stop? Then see where we qualify. Maybe hopefully 12th, 14th, something along them lines. Close enough, wasn't it? 12th and 13th for our drivers. So I think soft for Max Verstappen. We'll use a bit of Cuppa. We'll use Cuppa anyway. We've got quite a bit. Actually, let's go Cuppa for that. Let's go Kawai for Verstappen. Here we go in Canada. Come on, team. Let's see what we got then as we head off. And can we score the points? We got to get more points because we might be at risk of not qualifying if we continue on them 30-point scoring. But we've got a chance in Canada. Decent chance scoring. Difficult track, but one that you can get right and score well at. As already, we're moving into P7. Make that P6 and P8. Now, if you continue to push in Canada, you can make some great overtaking at this hairpin. And sometimes you can take 2 cars. Well, how about that? Right on cue. We move past 2 cars and move ourselves into P4 and P7. And there is a crash. There is a crash. It is our first safety car of the day. It is Logan Sargent who has binned it at the hairpin. And we are now under the safety car. But that safety car was supposed to be fixed. It's not. Look how quick it is. It's still fairly quick. So a cheap pit stop was not a viable option here. The question is, what do we do with Verstappen? We could potentially go to 4 laps now. I mean, 4 laps shouldn't be an issue. We'll find out. We'll see. We could go on the attack, though, and still pit with that Kawai boost. But as we go around the hairpin, the field, well and truly still stretched out. And we probably can only really do 1 more lap because we're already below the 3-lap limit. So I might just do an absolute full push with Verstappen as we are about to get racing. Another safety car, another drama of a day. Here we go. And we are going to now pit. We're going to try and get past the Red Bulls. Would be great if we could get through as Hamilton is into P5. We might have to sneak. Oh, we can just get P3. We're going to have a lot more pace here if we can get through on these softs. We're going to not fall back too much. Remember, we have got a good boost on with us as we go down. And also, we can get Hamilton on 4 laps if he wishes. So Verstappen should get a quickish stop. with Kawhi. And he's already coming out. Quite a few cars going past. Softs are going to push us ahead. And push us ahead into P7. We are not losing too much. And we get into P6 past Kevin. And that is exactly what we needed. Now we've got Max Verstappen ahead of us. Everybody wishes they could overtake him. There you go. We're already through. We've got Hamilton into P1. We've got Verstappen already back up into P5. Hamilton leads and Hamilton is in. So cars continue to go round. There's a few people pitting too. And we're going to get ahead. We are going to, just try and get ahead of Leclerc. And we are through. So we can start creating a gap now. P1, P3. Hamilton doesn't have to pit. Verstappen does. Safety car has already been and gone. As Hamilton is currently attacking Leclerc. Going to just look after that power unit. Build that up for an attack. We're going to be good to the end. What's that driver of Perez on? Medium tyres as well. We're going to pit this lap. Hamilton defending quite nicely. Now we're going to push. I know we've not got a lot of power unit. But if we push Verstappen now, we can clear. No problem. We've got to use the pace early though. You can see the gap already has opened up quite nicely with Hamilton now pulling away from Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen. Can we get even further? Verstappen coming out of the pits. He's going to safely probably take P1 here. And he does. So P1 for Max Verstappen. Hamilton in P2. This is looking very good. Very good. With 1.5 laps to go. It looks like it's going to be a 47-point return after a very tricky Mexico. Yes, Mexico can be tough. Especially a full wet race. Doesn't give much option for strategy differentiating. But we beat the rival. That's all that matters. So as we cross the line, we start our remaining lap. Clear of the field. Hamilton's got no tyres left, about to pit. And the rival is currently sat there at the back. P11. P13. Believe it is a bot for this matchup. But doesn't matter who you get, you got to score the points that you score. And we are going to safely take that away. Verstappen through the last corner, the wall of champions to negotiate. Comes through beautifully, followed by another former world champion, Lewis Hamilton. And we are going to take P1 and P2 here in Canada. Great return after Mexico. And let's take a look then at what the rival was running. We got 47 points out of that race. Absolutely what we needed to make sure we get through to the final round. 1499, 1460 for the rival. It was level 8 Leclerc, level 6 Bottas, and the car was pretty balanced as well. But good win. Come on. Welcome to race number 3. And it's a matchup that is slightly in our favour by 23. But the track is certainly not in most people's favour. We are heading off to Monza in Italy for one of the toughest circuits on this F1 Clash calendar. The question will be 40 plus points. We've got to try and get. Where do we qualify? P10 and P13. So I am going to go for a bit of frost on the softs. I'm going to go on the hards with Hamilton with a bit of Street Shark. And we're going to try and do a 3-3-2 with Verstappen, whilst also doing a 4-4 with Lewis Hamilton. The question will be is can we make it on them softs? Well, as always, as we head to tomorrow, there's one way to find out. Come on, point scoring, please. Verstappen will do the little boost trick in mentally hoping that it helps us. We need a good start from Verstappen and then we can cut back down early and watch to see if he's got the tyres. It's carnage at the first corner. I can't get off that screen. But as the rival pushes through as well, we have got Verstappen into P8, P6 now. Just made up 2 positions and he's got Alonso ahead of him. So we cut back down. We are going to just move past into P5. And now we've got to watch the tyres to see if we can make them last the 3 laps. Out of the corners we go and into the final corner, we are pretty much bang on that 3 lap push. Rivals gone for Jin. They're not going to be able to do 3 laps, I would expect. Hamilton's in P13. Now, that is not that bad because he will be absolutely fine from there. It'll be even better because he takes P12. Good move. We've got Verstappen now behind Hamilton. We've got to move up to P11 for Hamilton. We've got mediums for the rival, which is going to be tricky to last 4 laps. We've got Verstappen all over the back of Lando. Come on, Lando, move out the way, dude. Can we get through? We are right on the cusp. Russell pits. Time for a pit stop. We should be running pretty good with these soft tyres. There's a Ferrari already coming out of the pits after running that soft tyre. What can we do from here, though? Hamilton's, this 4 hard is a great strategy, by the way. It's always a heavy point scoring strategy at this circuit as Verstappen moves up to P2 and Hamilton moves up to P8. Rival will have to pit. And then we go backwards. We have got the man himself behind us. Kevin! We got to hold him off. We do. He's in the pits. And we move up to P5 as we come back to pits. Verstappen comes out in a nice position in P8. I'm going to cut back down for a moment. Hamilton has used all of his power unit now as he attacks Perez. Can he get past Perez? No, he cannot. What about Verstappen on these softs? Past Ocon. He's now motoring. I don't know what the points are going to be, but it's got to be 40 plus. We've got to keep on that trajectory for point scoring. Never going to be 47 round here. Far too tough unless there is a safety car and we move and stay there, P5. Hamilton coming out of the pits now. Should get ahead of this Aston Martin with the pit exit and does. P12. Verstappen closing as well. So hanging in the balance at the moment. As Stroll trying to use his money to get past. Not today. Verstappen, all good. Hamilton hanging in. There is pit stops now for 3 cars. We're going to move up to P2. And we're going to come back in for a soft stint. Nice, quick, soft stint. Hamilton, on this ever reliable 4 hard, moves himself into the top 10. There's quite a lot of cars ahead of us. Don't think there's quite a lot of pit stops, though. There's maybe 2 that are going to happen. So we've got to still do some work. A lot of cars amongst us. Carlos Sainz being one of them. And we're past him. Setting our sights now on Sergio. But hard tyres and our car so slow through the corners. That is our problem. As we hit then Perez, who's in P8. Can we get past him? No, we can't. Sainz pits. Verstappen is come back out. And we are now P4 and P7. Made up some good ground. And we've got licence to attack. Perez is ahead of us. Perez is on the hard tyres. As Verstappen's into P3. He's got the McLaren ahead of him. Can we get past Sergio? Yes, we can. We're on the back of Hamilton now. Come on, Lewis. We know you don't like scoring big points. Oh, great. You've just let Perez back through. Hard tyres are a pain when you're not max player or decent stat cars. We've got Norris ahead of us. And Verstappen might run out of tyres. But look how far Max Verstappen is ahead. He's attacking. He's nowhere near. I don't know who he's attacking. There's no one there. Let's try and push now. Can we catch this medium tyre Verstappen who has ran out of tyres? No, we can't. Look how quick he is gone. We have got a car ahead. Have we got any more people running out of tyres? No, we haven't. I think it's going to stay. End up being P7 for Hamilton. It is a P2 Verstappen. Very good for Max. But it's P7. It is 41 points.
A race like this is incredibly satisfying.
We'll take it. 1499, 1476. And we have level 8s across the board. And a fairly okay setup as well. Race number 4. Another tough matchup. 53 team score ahead of us. But we've got chances to take points off them. But that's what we enjoy doing. I actually quite enjoy facing tougher cars. I know it doesn't get me the points that I want. And I'm almost guaranteed to lose points against these rivals. But it does make it quite interesting. Now, we need a wet race, if we want to make this any more interesting. Let's see what happens and where we qualify. We're in the mix at P13 and P14. We have got a wet race. So it's going to be a pit stop on lap 3 and a pit stop on lap 4. We're going to do Frost for Verstappen. Have we got Saar anywhere? I could use Movember. I'm going to use Movember. Bit of Movember. Let's go. So using up our Frost boost. Don't expect Hamilton to get a perfect start. Well, I don't know how we've got a perfect start. I do not understand this game sometimes. But we're away and the rival has struggled to get away. We are comfortably together as a pair going through the field as we hit the corner. Good overtaking opportunities as we move through. Rival in P8. And we are dropping back now. We're going to do a 3-4 with Max Verstappen. Potentially a 4-3 as I'm more itchy than the rain's coming down. And there's a move down the straight. Since when do we overtake down the straights game? P7. We'll take it. Now we can attack them with Verstappen. Because if he's going to do a 3-4, we can attack and start trying to move through the field. Let's try and get past Hamilton and the Haas. Probably Kevin Magnussen, it always is. Rivals pushing 2. Can we get past? Oh, we can't. Kevin! Why? Are you being like this? I mean, we're ahead of the rival. We're on track for a 4. Now we've got to get past. I mean, we've dropped. We've got Albon ahead of us. Finally past him. Probably using Sargent's chassis. And now we're past Kevin. Finally past Kevin. Now we can pit. Hamilton's moved himself up to P6. We're going to push a little bit. See if we can just get past the Ferraris. And we can. Can we get past Verstappen as well? Yes, we can. Beautiful. Beautiful move. Tough matchup. No problem at the moment. We're in the mix. And we're going to be pitting. I think the rival's going to be pitting as well. Makes sense to pit. Makes sense to be the undercutter as we carry on round. So, decent enough tyres. Rival expecting to do the undercut. He's carried on one car at least. And he's carried on just the one car. As we move into P3, we're going to get ahead of the rival as well. Gets even better, folks. And we're out. Can we get ahead of Zhou Guanyu? Yes, we can. Rival can't get ahead, though. That makes it even better. We're on for points. We are on for points. Hamilton's probably going to be a net P3 once pit stops work themselves out. We're going to conserve because we could get P1 in this race as we hit and we go through Maggots and Beckett's with Verstappen. Everybody about to pit, remember. Let's just push a little bit. Don't want to push too much. We can't push too much anyway. But this is all the pushing we're going to do. As Verstappen with the undercut, the power of the undercut. And look at that, he's only just behind the rival. As Hamilton comes out in P3, Verstappen is up to P6. That is why the undercut is so required at this circuit. Come on. Now we've got points to potentially make. Boosts running low. We know that. But here's Norris. Say goodbye, Lando. Not today. Verstappen is going to come under attack. Now, we expect to lose one position because we're on a 3-4 and the rival's on a 4-3. That's expected. The question is, can we not lose any more, please? No! What are you doing? Why have you just let Max Verstappen through? What's the gap out front? 2.6. Is there any danger of catching P1 and getting an extra point? Knew this weekend would be difficult because of not using a second boosted driver. We're going to try and push out of this corner as we try and catch the Mercedes. And now we're coming back at the rival. Oh, yes, we are in to P6. Hamilton. Currently too far away from this Mercedes, I think. P6 it is. Let's just try and push this section. We are catching the Mercedes. We're not that far away. There he is, look. It's going to be one last absolute hammer time. Come on, Hamilton. Have you got anything left for an attack? Here he comes. No. It's P2 for Hamilton. It's P6 for Verstappen. And another tough matchup we have managed to outscore. Oh, yeah. Good points. 42 points against the rivals. 39. And they had a 53 team score increase as well. Level 5 Hamilton. Level 9 Max Verstappen. And a good setup. A lot better than what we had. So, good round so far. 4 races complete. Final round to come tomorrow. Hopefully we are going to make it through. But 168 points should see us on a track for... I mean, it's going to be about 340. Now, Series 12 is tough to get through. Hopefully we can get through. I'm sure it'll be a nervous wait, especially when it's times to rewards. But let me know what drivers you're using this weekend as we're trying to score the big points.